Fallout has no shortage of strange characters. The AntAgonizer, the Mechanist, Harold, each with their own quirks and goals, and the Roach King is no exception. First appearing in Fallout 3, the Roach King has somehow tamed radroaches and declared himself their monarch. Ever vigilant, he patrols his tiny kingdom just northeast of Minefield, armed with a minigun, ready to attack anyone who approaches. At the heart of his domain sits his throne, a crude construction consisting of tires, a padded dining chair, a clock, and a rocket playset. A throne truly fit for a king. According to the Fallout 3 official game guide, his radroach subjects actually helped him build the throne, providing him with a place to escape the harsh wasteland sun. How the radroaches understood his desires remains a mystery, but a passage from the Wasteland Census, written from his perspective no less, offers a glimpse into his odd worldview. First, build throne, then take rocket. Some of my shiny friends help me. What time is it? Scuttle and bustle time. The sun is hot, but the throne is cool. Oh, me insides don't feel right. Sleepy time. This fragmented speech suggests the Roach King has more than a few screws loose, but it may also hint at an underlying illness. His complaints about his insides hurting could indicate radiation sickness, and his fixation on staying cool might stem from his body overheating, another common result of extended radiation exposure, and his throne is close to several pools of irradiated water, so it's probably that. Or perhaps he's simply sick from living with radroaches. Despite his unique title, the Roach King isn't tied to any larger lore. His character model is randomly generated, meaning he can sometimes spawn with a woman's body, though he always retains the same facial hair and is always wearing the same psychotic helmet, either due to the clothing resembling an insect's antenna, or the goggles provide some defense from the blinding sun. But why include him at all? In a world of grand, self-proclaimed leaders like Kaiser and the Master, the Roach King serves as a dark parody, a delusional figure ruling over lesser creatures while barely surviving himself. His reign is precarious, constantly threatened by wandering rad scorpions, raiders, and even deathclaws, and there's only so much his roaches can do to protect him. If slain, he may drop a finger if the player has the Lawbringer perk, and despite being a hostile NPC, looting the boxes near his throne results in negative karma, or at least that's what my research said. However, there was no penalty, and I could loot everything, including the rare mini-nuke inside the rockets, without any problems. Now, as I've said, the game never directly explains how the Roach King commands his radroach army, but there are possible explanations. The AntAgonizer seemingly controlled giant ants, likely through pheromones rather than supernatural means. The Roach King might have used a similar method, using pheromones or food to keep them loyal. Alternatively, he could possess psychic abilities, something I've discussed in a previous video, or it could all be a delusion. Maybe the radroaches aren't actually following him, he just believes they are, and they are instead his pets. We've seen this before with Fluffy and Jitters, two pet roaches inside the sniper's shack. Keeping radroaches as pets is possible, so maybe that's why they're loyal to him. But due to radiation sickness, he believes they are building a throne for their king, when in reality, they're simply sticking around for the free food. Still, these roaches must belong to him, or at the very least, they feel safe enough to live alongside him. But the unusual thing is, they aid him in battle, almost as if they were summoned. While Fallout 3 portrays him as an oddball with a minigun, Fallout Shelter Online elevates the Roach King into a legitimate threat, someone who understands the power of a swarm. He receives unique artwork, showcasing him with a minigun, several roaches at his side, and his throne in the background. In-game, he can summon radroaches, and is considered a high-level character. The game also provides a character description that delves into his motivations. There is a shortage of food, water, and people in the Wasteland, but there is never a shortage of irradiated radroaches. He who controls the radroaches controls the Wasteland. Nobody is afraid of a single roach, but everyone fears a swarm and the hive mind behind it. And with this swarm, the Roach King has no trouble harassing much larger groups. Even overseers are hesitant to cross him, as his critters pose a serious threat to vault safety. Fallout 4 introduces another Roach King, Reggie Blataria, who may reference the original or even be the same character. His name roughly translates to King Roach, Reggie from Regis, Latin for king, and Blataria, the Latin order for cockroaches. Like his predecessor, Reggie appears to command radroaches and wields either a minigun or a Gatling laser, depending on the player's level. He spawns west of the Kavega assembly plant in a bombed-out building, but only after the player reaches level 35. Once he appears, radroaches swarm the area, attacking anything except him. Interestingly, his hideout features a toy rocket, reminiscent of the one in the original Roach King's throne. Additionally, his internal editor ID is POI Roach King, further linking him to the Fallout 3 character, leading me to believe they are one and the same. If he is the same Roach King, then he must have had a reason for moving on. Most likely his original throne was destroyed, possibly due to the Enclave setting up an outpost near its location in DC, which does happen after the Enclave first appears in the capital Wasteland. With many displaced by the Enclave's activities, it's easy to imagine the Roach King being one of them, fleeing the DC area to establish a new throne in Boston. Perhaps the toy rocket serves as more than just a toy or reference. Maybe it symbolizes inspiration, a reminder of his lost throne, urging the radroaches to help him rebuild, just as he believes they once did. I don't know if you agree, but I do believe Reggie is the same Roach King from Fallout 3, only now he's given himself a name, one befitting a king, and through his journey to the Commonwealth, he found a new weapon and grew even stronger. But this isn't confirmed, it's just my personal belief based on their similarities. The name Roach King, the ability to command roaches, an obsession with red rockets, favouring a minigun or minigun adjacent, being older in Fallout 4, and his eyes being white with scars, perhaps something he wanted to hide during his younger years. There's just too much going on for it to be a mere coincidence. Or maybe it is. After all, Reggie Blataria roughly translates to King Cockroach, or of the King Cockroach, which are two very different things. Maybe Reggie isn't the king himself, but a servant to the Roach King. After all, his role in the game is Radroach Keeper, not Roach King. If the Roach King in Fallout 3 is psychic, like we're led to believe, and acts as a hive mind for the swarm, as we're told in Fallout Shelter Online, what's stopping him from controlling people too? Maybe human eyes look like this when they're being controlled by a psyker, and if so, then the toy rocket and the red rocket poster are not inspiration for a new throne, but reminders of who he actually serves and the throne he's fighting for. Of course, that is just a theory, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. The Roach King is one of those oddities that makes Fallout's world feel alive. He isn't tied to any grand faction or deep lore, he's just a strange man with a swarm of radroaches. Whether he truly is their king, or just another Wastelander lost to his own delusions, he has cemented his place as one of Fallout's weirdest legends. And if radroaches can survive anything, then maybe their king can too.